Hi there. I'm Neil Norleg. I'm a claims specialist for BP Claim Pro, and I'm here to help you understand some of the questions many people have when it comes to getting paid compensation money from BP due to the oil spill in April of 2010. Now I'm going to need you to pay close attention because there's a lot you need to understand. One of the first things everyone has to understand is that this program was developed by BP themselves. Yep, they agreed in a U.S. court of law to be part of an effort to be proactive about getting people paid, so as not to have a lawsuit drag out for years and years in a court battle where the attorneys get all the money. Well, that didn't seem right, so BP set up the Deepwater Horizon Economic Settlement Program. It was a good idea, but still, it was a 2,000-page document written by attorneys and accounting specialists to determine who qualifies and what elaborate formulas are used to calculate what each person or business will get paid. Oh boy. Well, like I say, there was a lot to go through, and it was kinda complicated. Okay, I'll say it. It was very complicated. That's where BP Claim Pro came in. We wanted to simplify the process, so people could find out easily if they qualify, how much money they're likely to get, and most importantly, we wanted to make it easy for people to get the money they deserve from BP. I see you're perking up a little bit there, 'cause this is where it gets pretty interesting for you. Because after all, this is where the topic of money comes in. Of course, many people have no idea how much money they could possibly get, or what others might be getting, or just who qualifies. And as you can see here, the amounts vary, but can be quite substantial. Okay, so now it's time to talk about who qualifies. The first place we should start is understanding how BP determined what geographical areas are eligible for compensation. Because the oil spill happened in the northwest region of the Gulf of Mexico, and even more importantly because the direction of the water current, the coastlines of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama were affected the most, and then the entire west coast of Florida. So after BP analysts completed their analyzing, they determined that because of a trickle effect that would occur from the direct coastal impact of the oil spill, it was only right to include the entire states of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama to be eligible for filing for compensation, as well as the entire west coast of Florida. The next important item that is a must is to look at the amount of financial loss you had from 2009 to 2010. Now don't worry how much or how little, because that's what we handle when we take your information and plug it into our advanced calculator. The formulas from the 2,000-page DWH program are massive, and they have so many variables it's impossible to just look at your numbers and guess how much you may qualify for. But hang on, the bottom line is, if you worked or owned a business in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, or on the west coast of Florida in the year 2010 and had any financial loss, you most likely legitimately qualify for some compensation money. So let's stop right there. If you meet these simple requirements I just talked about, don't try and pre-qualify yourself any further. What you need to do is call and speak with a claims specialist to properly evaluate your situation. Oh, now you heard me say legitimately qualify, right? Many people hear that and think this is some kind of a scam. Well, I assure you, it is not. BP has gone through great lengths and a lot of trouble to negotiate all these terms to avoid a massive lawsuit. And that's why we fine-tuned a system to process this complex program. That's why everything, and I do mean everything we do, is by the book and ultimately scrutinized and approved by Deepwater Horizon. Okay, now you're asking, what is this system I'm talking about? That's why I'm here to tell you that we are not some small-time operation that sits back and just takes documents from you and hands it to Deepwater Horizon. No way. You need to know that we have hundreds of field agents, as well as many attorneys and accountants, plus a big phone center, along with an entire vetting department to ensure the accuracy of everything we file. Now, when you add to that our proprietary cloud-based user portal, which every single person involved in the process uses to manage and track each component of the claim, and voila! Now you know why we are #1 in the industry. We're not just messing around here, and we want to help you. Okay, now let's move on to another important question that we get all the time. How much does it cost to file? You want the simple answer? Nothing. That's right. Zero, zip, nada. Unlike many other processing companies, we do not charge any fee at all up front for evaluating your claim or even during the processing of your claim. So again, the answer to how much does it cost to file? Not a penny. And for processing, zero as well. The only time we get paid is when you get paid. And we do not charge a penny more than what Deepwater Horizon has permitted for processing assistance. And that's a guarantee. We've built this company on moral and ethical business practices, and you can be assured we will never waver from that commitment. Now here's another important item I want to cover, and that's BP's position in this whole thing. This is not an attack on BP, and please don't get the idea that we are an anti-BP company. On the contrary, as devastating as this oil spill tragedy was, we remain in complete support of how BP has handled this claim process. Do you know that many situations like this that have happened over the years are still in the courts today? And, sadly, nobody has received any money except the attorneys. This is what we all fear now, isn't it? Well, that's why I'm glad to tell you that BP made a decision to be proactive and to make sure that compensation money gets to the people and businesses to help rebuild communities. We applaud BP for that and hope our efforts simplify and streamline the process for everyone involved. That way, we all benefit. Well, I guess that wraps things up for now. I hope I've answered some of the key questions you may have had and that you're more comfortable working with our company. I can promise you this, we care about every single customer we worked with and pride ourselves on uncompromised service and attention to your details. If you ever feel we are lacking in any of these areas, please feel free to call and let us know. After all, we're only human, but we're continuously trying to improve our business. I'd like to thank you for your time and to remind you to stay safe. One more thing. I don't want to leave this out. The deadline to file is approaching rapidly, and there's going to be a huge surge of claims that come in as it gets closer. So I've got to remind you that if you do not get your claim filed before the deadline, you could miss out. We don't want that to happen now, do we? So again, I say, that's why we're here to help. Well, thanks for joining us today. Good luck, and see you later.